Hey you, come closer. Okay, not that close. All right, we're about to go into our next episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Diana Dorsey, owner of Simply Elegant by Diana. Today we're gonna focus on 10 questions you should be asking every wedding planner before hiring them. And to help me with that, I have invited my very good friend and special guest, Lauren. Lauren, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lauren from Sydney Camille Events. Thank you so much, Diana, for having me.
So glad to have you here, and I'm super excited to learn more about what your thoughts are. Why don't you go ahead and tell us 10 questions every couple should be thinking about before hiring a wedding planner.
10 questions to ask your wedding planner. These are the things that you definitely want to know before you're hiring someone because you want to make sure that you have all your bases covered. The first question is you definitely want to ask them how long have they been in business and how many weddings have they done or how many events have they done. It's really important that your planner can troubleshoot things for you on the day of, and you only really get those skills from being at a wedding. You can take all the courses ahead of time, you can do all your reading ahead of time, but until you're at a wedding really troubleshooting issues and putting out fires, that's the real experience. So you really want someone that has done a lot, knows how to take care of these things, so you're not worried the day of your wedding.
Vendor selection. So a lot of times people hire me or a planner to help with vendors. Obviously the Bay Area is super saturated with wedding vendors, and it's hard to know who's good, who's overpriced, who will actually show up on the wedding day, who's charging you extra for something you shouldn't be charged for. I mean, there's so many variables. So everybody typically asks me, do you help with vendor selection? And so that's a huge perk of working with a planner, is getting access to their preferred vendor list, because anybody can hop on Google and say like Bay Area wedding florist. You're gonna get 5,000 results. How is the couple supposed to know who's great, who's terrible, who's overpriced, who's actually gonna show up, all that sort of stuff. So that's a huge advantage, is you wanna make sure that the planner you're working with will give you access to the vendors that they have worked with before and know are great. So you don't have to worry if your florist is gonna show up on the day with everything that they're supposed to show up with. So definitely check in about vendor teams, how they handle that, and make sure that they have a core team that they usually work with that you can trust. Question number 4 is asking your planner, how do they work with your vision? How do we create that vision together? Is it everything that you want? Is it everything that I want? How do we kind of collaborate on that? That's really important to know, because you want to make sure that even if your style doesn't match what the planner's personal style is, you guys will still be able to work together and come up with something that meets what the couple wants. And you want to make sure that even if the planner has a different style than you do, they'll be able to complement what you want and make that happen for you. And so it's really important to ask the planner, how does the vision come to life? How do we work on this? What's the plan for that? Are we seeing things in person? Is it all over the internet? Is it the mood board? Even if it's not something that matches up with what your vision is, make sure that they can still execute what the couple is expecting. Question number 5 is a question I get a lot, is do you work within any budget? Budget is a tricky thing, especially in the Bay Area. It is expensive to get married here. You know, we have wine country, we have San Francisco, the South Bay, everything is very popular and expensive. So a lot of planners will implement a minimum. I won't do this wedding unless it's over X amount. And the reason for that is, of course, you can do a wedding for less. Like, you can do a wedding for $10,000 if you really wanted to. But in order for your planner to be able to execute at their level and work with their vendor team at the level of the vendors, is you have to have a certain minimum, or else you just have unrealistic expectations, because it's not fair to the florist to say, hey, can you do all of this, but do it for way less than you usually charge. You want to be able to pay people what they're worth. So it's very important to ask, what budgets do you usually work with? Do you have a budget minimum? If the budgets don't align with what the planner usually does, it's probably not a good fit. Question number 6, the wedding timeline. I get asked this all the time. Do you put a timeline together? 100% yes. Every planner that you are interviewing should be putting a timeline together for your wedding day or your wedding weekend, however long it is. It should have everything in it. Setup times, breakdown times, dinner times, who's giving speeches. It should really be the main master document that every planner is using. Question 7, this is something I also get a lot, is how many people are with you on the wedding day? Is it just yourself as the planner? Do you have assistants? This is important because you want to make sure that you're fully covered. But let's say you have 300 people coming. You're going to have myself and 2 assistants. You want to make sure that there's something in line based on guest count, logistics. If you have a different venue for ceremony than you do for reception, automatically we're adding an extra assistant in. So you want to find out what their policies are on how many people they're bringing, just to make sure that you're covered for the whole day and you have enough people on the team. So that's really important. Question 8, insurance. This is so important. You want to make sure not just your planner, but your entire vendor team is insured, right? Liability insurance is huge, and you want to make sure that anything that happens on that day is covered. So ask what is being covered in your insurance. The venue will probably require it anyway, so double check that everybody has insurance. You want to make sure if somebody falls off a ladder or whatever, whatever happens is covered. Question number 9, this is very important. What happens if you can't be there on the wedding day? So let's say the planner got very sick and is in the hospital and cannot be out there on the day. Make sure that your planner has a backup plan. Of course, we all will try to stay healthy, and all that sort of thing, but you never know. Something can happen, and if you're not there, you want to make sure that there is backup. Question 10 is one that I get a lot. How do you stay calm on a wedding day? And for me, that's kind of where I thrive, is wedding day. Like, ask me as many questions as you want, like I will have an answer for you. And if things have been planned the way they should have been planned, like all red flags are taken out, timeline is set, we know the vendor team, we are confident with everybody that's coming. If you don't look calm, the guests are worried, the family's worried, the couple's worried, you have to be calm. So even if in your head you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, it's really important that your planner can stay calm and figure out how to put out fires and how to put out issues that are coming up without themselves losing control.
Lauren, that was super helpful and super educational. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm on Instagram at Sydney Camille Events, on my website, www.sydneycamilleevents.com. I'm on Pinterest under Sydney Camille Events. Facebook, same thing, Sydney Camille Events. I try to stay very up on social media because I feel like that's how a lot of couples kind of find us and communicate with us.
And you can find me on Instagram at BookSimplyElegant or on my website at www.booksimplyelegant.com. We would love to hear from you. Your thoughts and your comments are super important. So if there's anything you want to see different, please let us know down below on the comments. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.